Welcome, welcome. My name is Trish. Thank you so much for joining me on this deck creation journey. I'm going to share the spiritual aspect of the deck with you. My card message that I received a couple of weeks ago is that I needed to share more about things and not be afraid to share with you. So I'm going to share the spiritual aspects behind creating a deck and what makes the deck so powerful. So I'm going to share experiences that happen. So and the funny thing is that 12 months down the track, I will not remember any of these experiences. Maybe a couple of them. All of the decks do have experiences, but if I'm telling you all of the small things as I'm creating them, then I'm going to have a record of everything that happened while I was creating this deck. This deck doesn't quite have a name yet, but it's the deck with the collaboration with an author. So the book is called The King's Tide, Immortal Cycle by Kane Dodd. So I'm sticking to the themes of his book. So it's a fantasy novel. Speaks about things such as reincarnation, worlds that have, civilizations, but kind of that starseedy thing, people that have been on other planets, and the destruction of other planets. So it's really kind of, I love all the themes. The themes are amazing. It's that kind of starseedy type stuff, coming back into this earth because there's something important going on here on earth. So being reincarnations on other worlds and then coming into earth for an important reason. It's also about remembering skills that you've mastered in last lifetimes and starting to get some of those skills back. So, and I'm big on that kind of stuff here on this channel. So it's really an exciting journey that I'm having with this deck. Now, the first day that I sat down, so I've been planning this deck now for a couple of months. I do the customized decks with people. I can only fit 3 of them in every year because it takes me a few months for each deck. So I can only fit in 3 decks a year. This will be the last one that I do for 2025, and then I'll be starting, and I'm already in talks with the next lot of decks that are coming up for client customization decks. So I was working on one for somebody. It's finished. It's just in the review stages now. So we're going through and we're making a few final changes. So we're past all of that, the creative process of it. So now I kept saying to my guides, they kept giving me little things, and it was kind of marinating in the back of my mind what the themes were, the coloring, the style, the energy. I was reading the book too, so I knew what the cards were going to be about. So that was happening over the last few months, and I kept saying, you've got to hold off. Don't give me any real visual images yet until I'm ready to go. So I don't want to lose anything. So you have to wait. Now I finished off the deck that I was working on, and the very next day, this amazing energy stepped in. High energy, really super high frequency, really high guide. And you've got to think this energy is otherworldly. It's that kind of really high other civilization energy that I'm working with. So I'm super excited to be part of that. Now, I've had experiences like that over my journey over years. I don't share that part of myself with anybody. I don't do interviews with the Galactic Federation or anything. I'm not that kind of person, but I've definitely had many visitations and dreams, and one day I may share those with you. I may share parts of those in the process of making this deck, because this deck is all about that kind of stuff. So very powerful energy. So this really high guide, otherworldly guide, stepped in, really super high energy. So this deck is kind of a cross. So, between my Neptune moon, which is my Neptune moon, that I work with, this is high guide energy as well. So, otherworldly energy, really high energy on this deck as well. So that's why it's so powerful. And a cross between this one here. So the beautiful colors, it's very, the new deck is kind of blues and pinks and whites and soft, super soft, but beautiful themes. And some of the themes are a little difficult, a little hard, but that's what will make it such a powerful deck to use on a physical situation or reading for clients, because clients don't really come to psychics and fortune tellers unless they're going through something difficult. You don't really go to one when your life is just going great and you want to know what's coming up. It's when you're in those challenging situations or at that path where you're making decisions. That's when people visit psychics. So that's what I'm working on. So it's going to be very practical, like this one here, in the beautiful soft tones, but very powerful with that high guide energy, like my Neptune moon. So strong energy. Now this guide that came through, so immense. The energy was immense, and I was jittery. I could feel it in my fingertips. As you know, I tell you many times, when I'm getting that creative energy, it comes into my fingertips, and like really high energy in my fingertips. So to start creating. So usually when I'm showering or around water, so when I'm water, that's when all this stuff, it must amplify the message or something, the information. It always happens around water, so I get really amplified. And I've been going to the beach quite a lot lately as well, which I haven't been to the beach in years, but I've been going a few times a week. So, and I think it's connected somehow to this deck as well. The colours, definitely, it's kind of really beautiful beachy colours. There's beachy scenes, but it must be connected to the water. There's something going on with the water. I haven't figured out what that connection is yet to the book or the cards, but there's got to be a connection there, because I'm going to the beach often, and it's helping me ground the energy, but it's also helping me amplify the energy that's coming through as well. Powerful guide, so coming in the fingertips, also pacing energy, super excited energy, and pacing, kind of so powerful energy, it makes me pace. So the first card that came up with that one was the Light Weaver. I'm just going to read to you my notes on the Weaver. The first card that came in, which is in the center of the thumbnail, it's called the Light Weaver. Now, the essence of this card is it's a soul that crafts not through control but through creativity. So it's very creative energy. It's based off that first tap into the energy coming through, and this is how this card was created. So this deck is also going to show you ways to integrate and anchor the energy into your physical life. So how to bring it into your life, different little exercises or different information. So not only will you be able to hopefully experience the power and the energy in the deck, but you're going to be able to anchor certain things or lessons or knowledge or understanding into your physical. That's the intention behind the deck. So it says here, the information that I've put down for this deck is that the creator, the Light Weaver, works with intuition, grace, and subtle threads of energy, kind of reweaving fractured timelines or harmonizing discord and gently anchoring light into dense or spaces. So this one is more about creativity and working with that creative, how I said, in my fingertips, the energy that comes in almost like a weaver with the hands. So, and the images of you can see on the thumbnail is weaving light. So it's this energy that's coming through, very high intense energy. It's light because it's energy, and it's being able to weave it into a creation and create something out of it. So it's the process of the deck. And because I'm sharing that with you, because Spirit told me I had to share this with you, the spiritual process, it's why this is card number one. It won't be number one in your deck because it's alphabetical, but it's card number one that I've created. So it's how I tap into the energy that's coming in as a weaver, and I create it into a physical form, into a way that you can then anchor and harmonize this into your own physical being. So the role of this card is manifestation through energetic elegance. It's gentle, it's soft, it's creative energy. It's not forceful energy. It's not that masculine left side brain energy. It's more of that feminine kind of creative passive energy. It's soft. It's using what you've got and creating something out of it in a very soft and gentle way to create something very creative. So that's the energy behind it. So on a spiritual level, it's awakening a conduit of divine energy. Miracles happen not when you try harder, but when you remember how to flow with the light that's coming in. So and hopefully this is something you're going to be able to anchor in your own life through the touching of this card. That's my intentions. So here on the physical, your hands, your voice, and your presence all weave unseen frequencies into form. So it's about creating things into form, whether through voice, through music, through speech, talking, meditations, any kind of thing like that. Your presence, your aura, the radiance, and hopefully people can tap into that energy. That's what I'm hoping to bring through here. And it's about, it weaves unseen frequencies into form, and that's what the light weaver is all about. You may feel called to create, to sing, or to beautify or harmonize your space with this card here. So it will have a whole bunch of messages on it, how to read it on a physical way, how to spiritual, emotional, and mental. So it will have every aspect in there, and it will also have ways to, little tips for anchoring the energy of this card into your life. So that's the intention there, ritualizing intentions here with the cards there. So very beautiful. That's the first one, based off the spiritual high guide that came in here with the energy of the creation. So super patient too, like, because when I was marinating it in the back of my mind while I was creating this other deck, I kept saying, you cannot bring me any images or anything through, any words or images, until I've completed the deck that I'm on, because I do not want to mismatch the energies of the decks. The other deck was a pure energy of the person I was creating it for, and I didn't want to cloud any of them to cross pollinate each other in some way. So I wanted to keep them very separate. So the very day after I finished the creative process of that one, the next day, straight in, super high energy, bang, and then this card came out. So this is what was created. The words came through as I create. That's what I do. I start to get the messages as I'm doing it, and it's you get the physical energy of it, and you get the feeling of it, which is why I'm going to go into the next one that I created. So I did another one, two actually, that I'm working on. They're not finished yet, but the energy is what I'm working on, and it's more about chaos or collapse, because that is one of the themes in the book. And for me, I had 2 really hard days this week. Generally, I'm very high spirited. I keep positive, but and I know it's because I'm working on this deck. I know that's the reason, because I had to remember certain energies around what was going into this. And that's always been my process for creating cards, is I'll take an experience that somebody I know has been through from the very beginning. That's how I used to do it. I used to photograph the person, and I used to paint them and put all the energy of that thing that they went through into that card. So in through messages, but into the card, the energy into it. So it gave it just that little bit more layered power within it. So it's always been my process. So, but I've had to relive aspects of my past, of things that just collapsed and were no longer, when one door's closed, another door opens, but the angst that you feel when a door is closing on you, and maybe there was regrets that I had around that. It was related to my business that I had for 25 years. I was a photographer, also a graphic designer, but I understand that it's very much what's got me to where I am today. The journey of, learning Photoshop and proficiently and using it daily for hours upon hours. That's what photographers do. We edit for hours to like midnight editing. So we're on Photoshop proficient with it. So, and I wouldn't be where I am without that. So, and I'm very grateful for that, but I feel like I hung on to that way too long, much longer than I should have. And I should have listened to the signs. So these are regrets that I had. I should have saw it coming. I should have saw the ending coming. And I should have left it sooner, because I have not looked back. And I'm so grateful that I finally did follow what the universe was putting out to me. But I did try and fight so hard to hang on to it, and I shouldn't have done that. So I have regrets around it. There's other regrets that I have with that business. It was my life for almost 30 years. So yeah, it was about 25 years I did that. And so I had passion for it. It's taught me so much, but I have regrets definitely around it. So, but it was making me relive the regret part of it and the anger part of it. There was parts of it that was really making me angry, like the emotion of it all. You just anger, regret, and just, kicking myself. Why didn't I do this? Or just different things. And I feel like that energy, and that's not me. I don't normally do that. I don't live in the past like that. I don't it's like unhealed trauma. This is the words that I'm actually hearing as I'm speaking to you. It is unhealed trauma, and parts of the themes of this book card combination is unhealed trauma. So that's what it was bringing to light for me to deal with and understand and feel, so I can put that energy into the cards that I'm creating. So there's some cards around that as well. So that's what I mean. The power not only comes from the process of the downloads that happen with spirit as they're telling me what's going in, but it happens to the energy that goes and that's manifesting too. Manifesting is your thoughts create your reality, but so do your emotions. Your emotions are such a powerful tool. It's like it's your emotions to me feels like the thing that the claw on the games where you claw and you grab something. Your intention is your focus, and your focus when you're playing that game. So the really weird analogy too, by the way. So when you're playing that game, you've got your thoughts and your intention that you really want that toy or whatever's in this claw game, but your full power is that claw reaching in and grabbing that, and that's your emotions. Your emotions reach in like a tool, and they help get you what you want. You're manifesting. Now, where am I going with this one? Why are they making me this is what they're doing. They're just giving me that analysis there of the energy. So let me backtrack to where they're taking me here. That brings me back to the energy of emotion. So putting the emotions into the card, not only the intention or the downloads that come through mentally, it's putting that emotional energy into each card. That's where the real power lies. It's that the feelings. It puts so different dimensions of layer of energy into the card. So that's this is me sharing with you the spiritual secrets behind my creations and why they're so powerful, because they have many layers behind them. I have the intentions as well. I manifest intentions into each deck that I create. What my intention is for you when you're using the deck. I've talked about that throughout this video. What my intentions behind each deck are. Each deck has its own different intentions. It all has its own different energy, but this is the layers. It's layer upon layer of different things that come through, and then when I'm actually creating them, I'm getting more and more insight and information, and that's what I put down as notes. Now I've learnt to do that as I go for the books, for the PDF, so that way it gives you that deeper understanding of what really is involved, or what other meanings. It's not just a straightforward keywords. There's a lot deeper information in each card. So that's why I've started doing that as I go now. I'm learning. So I've got that energy going in. Now the other one that I've created this week is one about estrangement. I had somebody ask me on my other channel to do a reading for them, because I do readings. I do answer questions for the members over on the other channel. I do member-only videos, and one of the questions is about estrangements. There, I won't go into the details because she said I have permission to talk about that on my members-only video because it's a private group. So I won't go into the details here, but one of the themes of the deck. So I haven't had to experience that personally. I have experienced something very similar, but because I'm working with her energy there, I'm actually being able to infuse that into this particular card to give it extra dimensions of energy there as well, and extra power. So that's my journey so far on this deck. I'm going to share something with you each week or each fortnight on this deck, on the creation and the spiritual power behind it. I hope you enjoyed this very personal part of the creation process of the Immortal Cycle Oracle.